Okay, did you have a good break time? Yeah, I haven't because I thought, what happens to you? Yeah, during your break time. Yeah, let's start the part 2 of today's lecture. So we briefly checked the COICA Act. Then now we will see the details of the works under the COICA Act in part 2. The organization, yeah, who will be executive officers or directors, and who can be a staff of the COICA organization. Okay, Article 8 to 14, Article 8, 9, 10, blah, 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 to the Article 14, they provided many details on the organization of COICA. They have executive. Who are the executives? Yeah, president, directors, auditors. President is the representative of the COICA, the agency. Of course, under the president, they will have some vice president, yeah, and then they will have some directors. They are the main, main workers, yeah, but they are the highest level, and the auditor is their main function. Auditor's function is monitoring, checking, yeah, who will do, yeah, who will not do, if budget is okay, something like that, yeah. And then the directors meeting, we call that the directors meeting is board of directors. It is the highest level of decision making of COICA. President and directors, they have a meeting and they will talk about the very important issues in the long-term view and short-term view, and they will make the policies, strategies, and they will decide the important issues for their organizations. Under the board of directors, they will have many departments and offices following their different functions and roles by regions, by functions. Okay, and they have also overseas offices in Vietnam, in Laos, yeah, and in the other countries. Okay, let's see the executive in Article 8 provide very details on the executives. They'll have the 15 directors and fewer the other executives, president, auditors, and the other directors. President of COICA is, yeah, must be just one, yeah. He must representative of COICA, the agencies, and then the president of COICA to be appointed by the president of Republic of Korea. Korean president, appoint the president of COICA, yeah, and during that time, yeah, in the process, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, they will make some recommendation. Yeah, this guy should be better for the COICA, and this guy is not so good, something like that. Yeah. So the Minister of Foreign Affairs, and he will recommend to the president, and then the president will decide. Auditors, yeah, auditors have their own function, yeah, checking the budget and use of the money, something like that. And then directors, yeah, many directors are appointed by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. All right, and Article 9 provide a requirement for the executive. All executive, from president, yeah, auditors and directors, they must fulfill these requirements. And Article 9 provide the reason of disqualification for executive. So, if somebody related to the one of these disqualification requirements, then he or she cannot be the executives, president or directors or auditors. For example, a non-national of Korea. So Korean citizen must be the minor. Yeah. So the adult can do that. And incompetent or quasi-incompetent, yeah, cannot do that. Person declared bankrupt but not yet reinstated. A person sentenced to the imprisonment without prison, labor, or heavier punishment. So, if somebody is are under the criminals, then cannot do that. A person who is disqualified or whose qualification is suspended pursuant to court judgment or other act. So, if somebody is are in the boundary of the disqualification area, then he cannot do that. Their works. Okay? Right. Article 11 provided the restrictions of their works of executives and employees. Article 11 provides the sentence: the executive and employees mean other staff of KOICA, of corporation agency. The corporation agency means Korean, yeah, corporation agency. That is KOICA. So the staff or executive of KOICA shall not engage in any profit-making business outside of their duties. And any executive shall not hold concurrent office without permission of Ministry of Foreign Affairs. An employee without permission of President. So, the executive, that is President and auditors and directors, they must, their work, they focused on their own role. They cannot make their money. They cannot do their own business, yeah, outside of their duty. And also, they cannot have their office. Their office must be inside of the KOICA area. And there, so and yeah, the exceptions for the executive can be made by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and the other staff can be made, exception can be made by the president of KOICA. Okay? Why they make those kind of rules is for the effectiveness of their work and also for the neutral position of KOICA works. The works of KOICA is for the developing country or the international community, not for the profit or benefit for somebody, right? To keep these rules, to keep this philosophy, these rules, Article 11, provide this standard. So, every KOICA staff, including president to the other staff, yeah, they must keep these standard. Let's see the work of KOICA. Then, yeah, what KOICA can do. of course, Korean ODA works, but let's see the details of KOICA works. Yes, the theme of KOICA work is education, health, governance, rural development, and ICT, that is information and communication technology, and industry and energy, environment or climate change, and disaster relief and reconstruction, and lastly, MDG or SDG issues. So when we see the theme of KOICA work, it's broad. So any kind of KOICA works can be related one of, two of, some of the themes. Of course, their target must be developing world. But their subjects are education, health, governance, rural development, ICT, something like that. Until their budget used. So these area, this theme must be kept by the Korean KOICA the works. And then what kind of works? KOICA they will manage the training course for the developing countries. Sometimes they will send the expert on a certain area. For example, they can hire the expert on the fixing cars. And then the expert on the car, they can teach how can fix the car automobiles to the some citizens in the developing country, like that. Development studies as well. KOICA have their work is the ODA work, and then they always think about what is the development issues, and then who can do these issues, and then what is the future of the development works, something like that. So, they must study the development issue itself. Infrastructure support. Sometimes they will support the developing countries to make infrastructure. Please remember that how the Korean government make how the Korean societies made economic development. They use the big money which came from donor countries or international societies, and they pour that money to the expansion of infrastructure. So KOICA wants to do that as well. The partnership with the international institution and NGOs, it is also good work point for KOICA. To help the developing world, for example, a certain developing countries, for example, then KOICA can do a certain project with the government of that country. But if, just if, KOICA can do the project with other international organizations together, and then if they expect more effective research, if they work together, then yes, why not? So partnership, it should be very important point for the effectiveness of the KOICA works. Emergency relief, recently, for example, climate change, and sometimes the eruption of the volcano, something like that, or overflows of the water in the river, something. The natural disaster can make lots of negative result to the developing countries. Then developing countries have to cover up these negative results as soon as possible. However, if they do not have enough capacity, then the donor countries can help them. This is the emergency relief. Yeah. Sometimes COICA, they can do something. They can support some money, yeah, budget, and the medicine, something like that. Yeah? Sometimes they can dispatch the experts as well. So this is the types of work. COICA Act Article 7 provided the COICA project as the Korean ODA works. So COICA, their activity must be inside of these boundaries. Let's see the details. In order to achieve the purpose of the Article 1, the COICA must do the following project. One of or some of the following project. The following project for developing countries. Yeah. A. Invitation of trainees. Dispatch of professional human resource. Dispatch of Korean overseas volunteers. Research in development. Disaster relief. Assistance with good fund and facilities. Yeah? Yeah, getcha. Yeah. Now you understand what I mean. Second, the following project for the international cooperation. Support to the international cooperation activities of non-governmental organizations. That is partnership with NGO. The cooperation with foreign aid-related organizations and international organizations. Yeah, that is partnership with international organizations. And research and study on the formulation of the ideologies and policies on the international cooperation. Study. Other projects necessary for the promotion of international cooperation. The other thing, which is related to their original works. Okay? Third, project entrusted by the government. If the government if government asks to the COICA, that should be can be a project of COICA. Fourth, education and training and publicity and other project incidental to project. Okay, the other things which is related to the year 1, 2, 3. All right. Let's see the work scheme. What is the characteristics of their activities? Project, training program, and Korea Overseas Volunteers programs. Yeah, these things are the characteristics of COICA's real activities. COICA, they are doing varieties of projects, yeah, and then they are managing many types of training programs to teach something for the developing countries' people. And Korea Overseas Volunteers Program is kind of dispatch of the Korean people, Korean persons, citizens to the other countries, developing countries, to do something. And partnership with NGOs and partnership with international organizations, yeah, there is the multinational, multilateral cooperation. There is international cooperation with the organizations. Yeah, it can be a part of the work schemes. Evaluation is very important things for the improvement of the effectiveness of COICA activities. Yeah, evaluation is very necessary point. If we evaluate some research of Quaker activities, then we can make the lessons from that activity. Then if we think about the lessons from the research, then we can improve something in the future, right? Okay. Right. We have checked the various types of Quaker works, Quaker structure, and their status, yeah, with the articles of Quaker Act. When we see the articles, then we can understand what happens in Quaker and who can do their works and the boundary of their works. All right? That's why we studied the law, right? Okay, this is the end of part 1 and the end of today's lecture. Thank you.